Yeah, this one's called Intervention. She's in for another long night, but this night is no different than the rest. How did she get herself in this place in life where she saw no way out? It's like she went into another room, locked the door, and threw the key away. He came to her as everything she had ever wanted, but slowly transformed into everything that she was afraid of. She showed him her weaknesses, but instead of helping her through them, he used them against her. He would tell her that he loved her, but words spoken without meaning are like an unloaded gun. In the same way that you can pull the trigger and have no shots fired, words can come out of your mouth and be completely empty. When she spoke to people, she desperately tried to justify his actions and behavior, like she was asking forgiveness for sins that she herself had not even committed. She looked in the mirror and questioned the person that she saw on the other side. She never grew up wanting this, and like every little girl, she wanted that fairy tale life where she would be forever happy. But what do you do when it's Prince Charming that you need rescuing from? But in her heart, she didn't want an escape. Rather, she wanted change. And she tried to salvage some good out of the wreckage that was her abuser. But she knew that by doing so, it was like digging through dirt where there was no treasure buried underneath. She wanted him to pull her up, not let her down, to hold her close, not push her around. The scars on her body read like a roadmap that showed the directions in life that she never wanted to take, and a journey that she never wanted to be on to begin with. She remembers growing up being scared of the monsters that she thought hid under her bed and inside her closet. But now the only monster she's afraid of is the one that sleeps beside her in her bed at night. The longer she dealt with this problem, the more she started to convince herself that she is the problem. She went from asking, why is this happening, to saying, I suppose that this is what I deserve. And all anyone can ask her is, why don't you just leave? Leave! Why can't you just leave? Have you ever taken medicine yet the illness still remained? It's more like you're behind bars rather than being in front of an open door that you can just walk out of. She's been beaten into believing that she's like a used car that's been in several accidents and no one else could ever want her. Leave? He says he'll kill her if she tries. So what's a couple of bruises and a black eye compared to losing her life? Will her children go through the same thing? Will the circle of life become the cycle of abuse? She hears the door open, her heart sinks, her mind races, her body trembles, and her breathing gets heavier. She saw him slowly approach, and she puts her arms up in a defense that she knew was absolutely useless. Let's get this over with, was her final thought before she shut her eyes and saw stars fly across. She woke up soon after, and her surroundings were different. And the bed she was in was not hers. She heard the beeps of machines and the shuffling of feet. A man came to her and said that her condition was critical and there was little they could do. She tried to reply, but she had not the strength to have the words escape her lips. The man said, "You have a visitor." And a gentle fellow came in and kneeled beside her, holding a book called the Bible, that thing that was like a letter from a friend that she had never even opened. The man's words said, "You will be okay," but his eyes said otherwise, yet they glistened with a small amount of hope. He asked her about God, and she thought about all the desperate prayers that went unanswered and the religion that she gave up on. So she decided to close her eyes and ask for one last chance. She prayed a prayer that took nearly all of her strength to do. The man then laid a hand on her shoulder, and it was the first time in a long time that a hand was laid on her without the intent to hurt her. He whispered to her, when all else fails, his love won't. Then she took in a breath and she smiled, and oh, how lovely it felt to do that again. She closed her eyes and she went home that night.